This video is a follow-up to my first Anchorage video, which you can see in the description. In that video I talked about the great spots to explore in Anchorage itself, and in this video I wanted to share some of the fun day trips you can have while staying in Anchorage. These day trips really give you a good taste of what Alaska has to experience. First up, take the drive along the Turnagain Arm. This area of the state is stunning with a massive waterway that you drive right alongside. Across the water are majestic mountains, making each pull-off a great place for photos. After getting to the end of the Turnagain Arm, you can visit the Alaska Wildlife Conservation Center, which has dozens of different types of animals you can see around Alaska. I was only there for about an hour, but in that time I saw multiple bears, wolves, and even a muskox. Right across from the Conservation Center, there's a turnoff for Portage Glacier. While there are a few hiking trails that will take you near it, one of the best ways to see it is via boat. You can take a 1-hour boat tour and go past waterfalls and learn all about the history of the area on the way to the glacier. All of this makes for a pretty amazing day trip from Anchorage. Next up, if you really want to make it a full day, you can continue past the first recommendation and make it all the way down to Seward. This drive, including the Turnagain Arm, is one of the most beautiful I've ever been on, and it's worth a day trip just by itself. Once you get to Seward, you can walk around the waterfront park, go to the Alaska Sea Life Center, or eat at one of the many restaurants. If you're into hiking, then you can visit Kenai Fjords National Park and take the hike up to Exit Glacier. Exit Glacier is a sight to behold, and it's a great activity to do before starting the beautiful drive back to Anchorage. My third recommendation is taking the trip over to Matanuska Glacier. Matanuska Glacier is the largest glacier accessible via car in the United States. You can only access the glacier via a private tour, so grab a tour and head out for a few hours of exploring and even hiking on the glacier. My dad and I were blown away by how cool of an experience this was, and it was easily a highlight for us while in Alaska. Plus, at the end of the tour, we got to fill up our water bottle from a small glacial waterfall, which is pretty hard to beat as well. Oh, and also the drive to the glacier from Anchorage is beautiful as well, and you may even see a moose. My fourth day trip doesn't have a glacier, but it has sled dogs and history, and that's a trip to Independence Mine and the Iditarod Museum. I'd recommend making the drive up to Independence Mine State Historic Park first. Here you can explore the remains of a mining operation from the late 1800s. This historic mining area is just cool, as it's nestled in a valley surrounded by giant mountains. If you go in the summer, you can even drive over Hatcher's Pass and make it a loop on the way to the Iditarod Museum. This pass is only open for a few months out of the year though, so we didn't get to drive it while we were there. When you make your way back to the museum, you can learn all about the historic dog sled race, buy merch, and even watch a movie on the history. If you go in the summer, they often offer sled dog cart rides where you can get a small taste of what it's like to ride with the sled dogs. It was a fun spot and I enjoyed learning more about this historic race. My last day trip recommendation is a visit to Talkeetna. This town is about 2 hours from Anchorage, but it's a fun, artistic town with great food, shops, and an overall relaxed vibe. On the way into town, you can visit Denali Brewing Company for a drink, or test out Alaska birch syrup and learn how it's harvested. Once you get to Talkeetna, be sure to walk the little downtown area, have some famous spinach bread, and head over and explore the riverfront park. This is also a great area to take a flight tour of Denali as well. Overall, it's a fun little town for a day trip. So that's it for my favorite day trips from Anchorage. Be sure to let me know what I left off in the comments, and we'll see you on the next video. Also, mark your calendars for September 25th, as that's when I'm going to be premiering my 8-day Alaska road trip video. My dad and I will both be chatting during the 2-hour premiere, and if it's already passed when